Let your curiosity rise.
Mad Bricks webcast,
Where the human spirit flies. Mad Bricks webcast, where the human spirit flies.
Hey, welcome to the Medbix webcast. This is Ramana Annam Raju. Today is a funny day, but my guest had family emergency. She cannot attend. But it is a really good topic. Next time I'll do that on definitely what the CNAs do, certified nursing assistants do, all these caregivers do. Even the family members, sometimes they provide caregiving. They go through. It is not an easy job. It's not a glamorous job. So we need to really hats off to those people. But unfortunately, we don't have the guest today. So my usual brilliant, beautiful, bold woman, brilliant, smart, beautiful. She's going to come on the show. Welcome. That's my co-host, Susan Davis, Dr. Susan Davis. Welcome.
Good evening, Ramana. Yeah, no, I'm sorry that our guest couldn't show up here at the last minute, but as we all know, things happen in our families that are out of our control. And really the greatest gift is to be able to attend to our family when they are having a situation. So I'm glad she's able to be there for her family when she's needed.
Yeah.
Support.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's one of. Yeah. Why don't you continue 1 second? Continue 1 minute, okay? Just I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back.
Oh my God, Ramana. Okay, fine. So the topic that we were going to speak about tonight, you got to love this curveball from this guy. What we were going to talk about tonight with our guest was pretty much caregiving and what does that look like, not only at the bedside in an acute care setting or outpatient or anywhere else, but what does that look like at home? I mean, what about the caregivers? So our guest that wasn't going to make it, Michelle Marshall, she'll be here. I'm certain we'll reschedule her when she'll come back again. Had an innovation. She's an amazing innovator here from my home state of Florida, who was ready to share with us one of her, I'm not even sure because we didn't get a chance to interview her, the extent of her product, but I know that she's leaning heavily into that caregiver space. In particular, what does it mean to take care of a patient? Their every single need. And I can tell you that just from very recent experience, I've been just the last couple of weeks, my mom had a procedure, and some of you might follow me on LinkedIn and or on other social medias and see that my mom is Well, she's in her 80s and she'd kill me for saying that, but she's an athlete and she keeps very, very, very busy. So we made a decision for her to have a procedure to keep her mobile. She spent her entire life being mobile. But what happens to somebody who becomes immobile? And guess what, team? Everything changes when you become immobile, meaning someone who's extremely independent that becomes dependent. Well, that's where nursing steps up. That's where healthcare in general steps up. I can speak for myself as a nurse that nurses, we are the largest workforce in healthcare. What I think we're 5 million in the United States, maybe 30 million worldwide. And so taking care of those who are immobile and not able to take care of themselves in their worst state is what we do on the daily. Not only just us as nurses, but our nursing assistants, our techs, and our staff. And what does that look like? So it's unfortunate that our guest didn't show up tonight because I was really wanting to find out more about what her innovation does for us. Supposedly something that helps us at the bedside. I mean, what do you think about this, guys? How, if you can't move, do you, go to the bathroom? Hi, Romana. How do you get water? How do you get your medications? How do you eat? How do you do anything? I mean, eating, drinking, bathrooming, toileting, cleaning, it takes more than one person. They can't do it. And Romana, I just was telling everybody that, I literally, honestly, this is the first day in 2 weeks that I'm home from one. I've been full-time care for my mom for the past 2 weeks as bedside nurse. And I mean, first of all, we should talk about the how awesome, that's just like, what an awesome gift.
It's a blessing, actually. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's a blessing amongst blessings. And so I think there's a mindset about, you even said in your introduction, it's not necessarily the most, gratifying. I don't even know. That's different. I'm talking about the nitty gritty of human care. We all have bodily fluids. I hate to break it to everybody.
It's not a glamorous, I said.
Yeah, not glamorous. Thank you. Male, female, young, old, it doesn't matter. Every cell in the human body takes goodie in and gets garbage out. And it has to go somewhere. And so to act like that's not happening and some are better than others about how that gets cleaned away, it's ridiculous. So there's an honor and an integrity to care. You can care for somebody and have them maintain honor. You can have them maintain integrity. There's a art to care. So anyway, I'll stop.
And also the most important, Susan, we have to give enough respect to the CNAs. Although people ignore them, they are not existing for a lot of people.
No, really, not everybody. We listen to that. I call baloney on that. I call baloney on that. We in nursing, on every single unit, every single floor, they're our highest and greatest, best help. Yeah. Without them, a day is misery. I mean, listen, they're extremely integral to nursing care. They are premier to nursing care. All techs, all nursing assistants. Well, you're talking to the wrong person here. There's never been I won't allow disrespect.
I'm glad. I don't know much about that system. I hope they respect them. That's all I know. I don't know much about CNAs because I don't.
It would be a big mistake to disrespect them. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. America is getting older in general, the baby boom generation and everything. There is a huge demand for these caregivers. How we going to manage that? All these old people, I don't know. I don't want to be in the nursing home. Push me out of the Grand Canyon. I will be okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's the general sentiment. The general sentiment is, and I've seen it not only in my own family but in others. But we need to keep our family members home as long as physically possible, and that comes with great resources. It comes with great sacrifice on the caregiver's side, but at the same time, it comes with great honor.
Do you remember my nephew spoke about that one doctor who came assisted living is telling homestay is the best, and people should take care of. America should go back to the taking care of the children and sorry, parents and grandparents, and that's what
Well,
she. What
I think we're in a shifting structure right now. I mean, besides the obvious of the planet being in disarray, but separate from that, I think that we're heading that direction anyway. I think there's many cultures around the globe that honor the elderly and wouldn't think of anything. There would be no thought of putting them anywhere or taking them anywhere but having them at home. And here in America, we went through this whole last however many years of pushing for professionalism in our work and our work and our career. I think we're turning. I think there's a turn. We're going back to
is
like.
going. I feel that too. There will be a
Do we
turn.
really need all
America is
that?
very good in turning fast. Yeah.
I don't think we really need all that. Like, what do you really need? What are you striving for if you can't be there for your children's early life and you can't be there for your parents' older part of life and you're not staying there? I mean, I'm not speaking for the world, and I'll speak for myself.
Oh yeah.
And families and friends that I know. I mean, I think to me the greatest gift would be to spend the early days with your family, and then in the mid part, do what you need to do to be comfortable and make ends meet. But do we really need so much more than that? I mean, like, how much do you really need when time is the most precious thing we have? Time with your family and the ones you love.
Let us talk about this. I've been to a couple of assisted living centers. Oh my God! It is really a tragedy in this country. There's like a third world country. Entering into third world country in certain nursing homes. Not nursing homes. These are assisted living centers. I it smells. It bother. It just not. I was shocked really to see that kind of thing.
Well, Romana, your nose knows. When families and are trying to pick a place for their family member to go, first of all, they're insanely expensive. I mean, my God, they're so expensive. And then you walk in the front door and you just take one whiff and you can pretty much understand the type. I don't want to get anybody in trouble because a lot of them do amazing, wonderful things. I mean, there's wonderful ones. There's places that go above and beyond, just like any healthcare system,
Yeah.
right? There's above and beyond in acute care. There's above and beyond in outpatient, and there's above and beyond in all kinds of long-term care, including assisted living, memory care, and all that. I mean, I just had a family member who was in memory care, and we went to 3, 4, 5, 6 of them that were just horrible until we found an awesome one. And then the staff and the care were extreme, but at no small feat to find the one that worked, right? I mean, so I'm not here to hate on it or say anything poorly about it. I just wish for every human in there that they were able to get the best care. And it's not necessarily the business model or whatever it is. I'm not the one to say. I just know that I wish for the best care for every human that
Yeah.
it shouldn't be based on what they can afford. They don't have family members to help care from home. It's not an option. So then what do we do? And it's unfortunate, but I can tell you, when people leave their home setting and they go into a facility,
It's
it's
not
hard on the
good.
mind. It's hard on the brain. It's hard to replicate the feeling of home.
Correct.
I think people's overall demeanor but listen, there's millions and millions of people
Even
in
the
the world.
luxury places, even you leave home is I rather prefer, you know, any place than my home. My home is just, I don't mind hanging around. That's my mother stayed at home. My father stayed at home before they died. I stayed with my brother, my father, is the latter life. My mother stayed with my brothers. So I'm glad we took care of our parents very well, you know. So my mother came and stayed with me for a while, and it was delightful in that sense, seeing them and experiencing. My brother, my late brother who passed away, uh, he said that one time. He is a nuclear engineer in Canada. He said that one of my regrets was that I didn't go enough time to spend time with our mother to help her at the end. He could not able to go because of job and everything. other brother took care of it. So he felt that struck me odd because I was a young guy and I didn't understand what he said. Um, Now I understand what you mean, but what he meant by that. He was regretting that he didn't spend time with my mother, taking care of her. It doesn't matter all the money, all the assisted servants. It doesn't matter, right? He felt that he was not there. You know.
Well, you know what? It's a fine balance because there's dignity. Dignity is a big part of human care, and sometimes it's such a fine balance. Ramana, and I'm zero expert on this. I'm just a human that loves. As a nurse, I've given care to family members who were not mine, and the immediate how you set the tone, like the nursing assistants you were talking about. Oh my gosh! And there's a energy in the space when care
Yeah.
is needed that you can either be a jerk or you can set the tone of instant
Yeah.
respect. And so then the normal stuff that people think are like, oh no, you're just cleaning bedpans and you're just cleaning, that's really a jerk, in my opinion, who wants to focus on that, because guess what? There isn't a human on earth that doesn't eat, drink, poop, or pee. I'm sorry, I hate to even be gross, but it is what it is. And so to make that the focus of care really means that you're kind of small-minded, because if you can give that type of care with humility and grace, so that it's swift, it's clean, it's integrity, and then they're not left
Well
feeling
said, yes, Susan. Yeah,
close.
you're a nurse. You saw in the front lines of all these, you're the front row seat for that all those things.
You just
So
make it happen anyway, without being any more graphic on this matter. But the bottom line is, I really don't think there's a human on the planet that should think anything other than, what can I do to make this person more comfortable? What can I do to make this less uncomfortable for that person? Whether you're at home, whether you're in the hospital, and when you get into a acute care, any setting that's other than the home, then there's strangers taking care of your family member, and some of them become best friends. Some of them become better than a family member because of the ones that are there. So really, it's a human thing. It's a human to a human thing, and if you're blessed, you'll get to do it in your lifetime for any human.
yeah, absolutely. Let us change the topic a little bit.
Good.
The Artemis too. My
Oh, cool.
friend.
Yeah, way better topic. Whew.
Yeah. So what this mission is all about. It is not going to they're not landing on the moon. They're just going around. So like a swing shot, like you do a frisbee throw, it goes come back, right? What they did was the earth gravitational field throws them a frisbee. Earth is like a human. Throw the frisbee, it goes around and goes around and come back to it just no batteries, no fire engines, nothing. It is just throwing. Once you go into the orbit, it goes around, and then that when you're going up, and then that speed picks up, then they change the direction. That's all they do. Then move to the. So gravitational force itself is the energy for that. It's a gravitational energy pushing to the. So what this whole mission about, Susan, is about human health. Actually, they want to know how the humans interact with the machines, how they feel. They're collecting speed, their cardiac output, their respiratory rate. All of them are closely monitoring, because in the gravity, microgravity there is no gravity almost. There's a less. There is a gravity everywhere in the universe, but the gravity is extremely less. Microgravity they call. So in the microgravity, your body is exposed to radiation, is exposed to the radiation, and exposed to the growth, the different. What I was thinking about that, it is osteoporosis, for example, bone loss. They got a cellular.
lack of
go.
resistance. There's lack of resistance in the microgravity, right? Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and then and
Not the
then Sanjay Gupta is from CNN. Dr. Sanjay Gupta is from CNN. They asked the questions. They are going to ask him questions in the Artemis too. So he asked me what question I asked. I said that the question you can ask is that if there is an appendicitis surgery that is required, what do you do in the space? That's a big problem, right?
Well, any
There must be
surgery.
alternative things. You know
Yeah,
how
but
they
any
do burial.
surgery.
You know how they do burials in the space.
How they do what?
Burials, if there's somebody dies,
Oh, oh, oh.
put outside.
See ya.
So
Yeah, but
there's a
how cool is that? Yeah, like you said push me off the mountain, but if it happens up in space, you're like you become space dust. That's okay. That's
yeah
cool. I dig it.
space. So they take if there is a hookup on the space, they take a condoms also. They do all the primary care kids. Yeah, they do.
What?
They
Oh
do
my
that
gosh.
actually.
All right, so it's a physiological mission, bodily functions of all, but there isn't any surgery in space, is there?
Physiological functions quite a bit monitored. This is the main purpose of this because the reason is if they go to the moon as a Mars, so it is a long. It takes 30 days to get there, almost 30 days come back and forth. I think I don't know the exact. It was a long time. It takes 3 months to
Mm.
going there and coming back. So for them, they need to study how the humans respond to that. So I have an excellent presentation for that.
Bring
So
it,
that is
please.
actually tell you a lot more about that physiology, the presentation. Can you bring a presentation, Navya? Yeah. Okay. That is I'm going to talk about that strange scribble you saw. I'm going to talk about that. Okay. A scribble in restroom changed medicine forever, I said. Michael, I didn't know this, Susan, that the Rolling Stones have a science writer. They do a lot of science. I didn't know that. They are is the Michael Rogers is a science writer for Rolling Stones in 1970s. He went to the university to do an article. He went to the University of California, San Francisco, right here. He went to the library there, and he accidentally saw in the restroom there's a scribble, a graffiti. He saw Helen Lane lives on in 1974. So it caught his curiosity. Uh, I don't know where my notes are. She can't find it. She says that, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I forgot about it. There is notes there. Check it out. A small notes there. I did notes there in maybe other scenes. Check it out, Navya. But Michael Rogers, he found out that he wrote an article called "Double-Edged Helix." In that, he mentioned about all these a particular person's strange kind of thing. I'm going to tell you what that is. What he's talking about. Actually, her name is not Helen Lane. They're misspoken in the University of San Francisco restroom. And her real name is, she is a poor black woman was born in Roanoke, Virginia. Her name is Henrietta Lacks. She was born in 1920 in Roanoke, Virginia. Okay. And she was at an early age, married at early age. Let me put some notes here. She doesn't know how to get that. I want to make sure that. Let me. Oh, excuse me 1 second. Keep talking.
You want
I'm
me to
going to
keep
bring in
talking about your presentation? Nice try. I just remember that this is a really cool story, and I don't know anything about the deets, so I
Yeah,
gotta be a fan over here.
yeah. You don't need to talk about this. You can talk about anything.
Oh
So
my
I'm done. I'm coming anyway. Yeah, I got it.
God. Okay, good.
I don't know why she can't find it, but there's a
I can tell you,
problem.
I want to be in her cabin.
Yeah.
back in the
That's a
woods.
cabin.
Me
It's a
alone.
poor place. She
I
was
was
born in a very poverty-stricken place during the time the blacks are going through. So anyway, that is she was born in 1920 in Roanoke, Virginia. She got married very early, at the age of 14 almost, I think. Henrietta Lacks moved to Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, so this is the so she had a problem with the persistent vaginal bleeding during. I don't know how she, through a husband or something, that there's a problem there, and she went to Johns Hopkins. That's the only place where the blacks are allowed to go, one of the very few places where the blacks are allowed to go there. So she went there in 1930. She went to, at the age of 31, she went to um, see the doctor there in the persistent vaginal bleeding. So she went to a renowned gynecological surgeon, Dr. Howard Jones. It's very famous. He later came to be known as first test tube baby. Is infertility clinic. He created a first test tube baby, Elizabeth Carr. So he's a very famous guy. He's a very dedicated man, open-minded. He was, I read about him. He's a very impressive guy. There is no calling bell at that time. He put a calling bell, put in the front door. Anybody can go to his house and knock the door. There is a bell that there is a it's connected to his foot. Is one of the thumbs. Sorry, foot. So when somebody pulls the calling bell, because there is no electricity there at the time probably, so the calling bell, he pulls his leg. Then he will wake up and come down and help
Oh my
people.
goodness.
Yeah, he's a very famous doctor. Again, he was a pioneer. Then he wrote several books after that. Henrietta Lacks went to him, one of the finest surgeons in the. Uh, that is a good thing she did, but also, unfortunately, so there is the tissue. He took a tissue, pap smear tissue, and the tissue culture. He took it from the vaginal area and sent it to the George Otto Gay. He is one of the famous, very well known slow motion. He is very famous for slow motion cinematography. He invented roller drums. You see in the pathology labs, roller drums he invented. He's a very well known. He's a pioneer in the tissue analysis. So she went to the right place. They were doing extraordinary science there during that for that time. So he was he was what happened was that cells he took it one day and then he put it there, and then usually the cells the next day they usually die. They didn't die. Henrietta cells were not dying.
Yeah, but Romana, weren't these cells from a tumor? These were tumor
They're from
cells.
tumor. Yeah, cancer
Yeah,
cells.
you made it sound like it's not. It was not like a cervical, like a pap smear. This was from a tumor.
Yeah, but
Yeah?
still it's cells, right? The cells are all
No, yeah.
tumor is
I'm sorry, but my brain went to the origin. So okay, yes, they took a sample from a tumor she had, and then those cells kept
dividing every 24 hours.
reproducing. Yeah.
Growing aggressive, very aggressive. Usually human cells outside of the body die within hours to few days.
Yeah.
They don't survive long. So a lot of research you cannot do because if they die, what they can do? They don't stay enough. The same cells don't stay enough to do any kind of a testing. So doubling every 24 hours, they don't stop, they don't age, they don't die. Just keep going. That was surprising, stunned the Otto Gay, is a George Otto Gay, and then he let them know. He named them HeLa cells, first two letters of the first name and last name. He took it HeLa cells. That's what he called them. There's a tradition at the time. That's what they named as Henrietta Lacks. He called it HeLa cells. Then scientific community know about only HeLa cells. They don't. Michael Rogers don't know about a name. He doesn't know until even now. Yeah, until at that time. So this scientific community is stunned with this amazing revelation. These cells came to the boom because they don't die, they don't stop aging, they don't die, keep dividing. It is a very powerful tool for the research labs and the tissue labs in the country. So scientific community stunned this. They, so what is the advantage of that? You don't have to, like toxins or something, you don't want to test on the humans, live humans. It is a challenge to test on live humans. So you can go directly to HeLa cells and test them, drugs and hormones and viruses. You can test on the HeLa cells because they're always same. They'll keep dividing, right?
It's
So
crazy.
so they can bypass this thing. So so one of the major thing came out is in the uh, let me take my notes a little bit here. Uh, yeah, HeLa cell is born is born boom to research actually. The polios it is a polio vaccine was invented. First, they tested on the polio vaccine on the HeLa cells. Jonas Salk is the inventor of the inventor of the polio vaccine. He tested on the HeLa cells. HeLa cells helped him to design the first polio vaccine. That it saved millions of children from the devastating effects of polio. So really first powerful outcome of this HeLa cells is a polio vaccine. Then there is a huge number of area of the um, human papilloma virus vaccine, HPV. There's several vaccines came out of this whole thing. So one of the rescue to humanity, basically, it rescued the humanity in a sense, they indirectly. HPV, measles, mumps, rubella, adenovirus, rabies, and the COVID-19, even early testing they did on the HeLa cells. So
It's
it was an
crazy.
amazing producing that one. They want to know why HeLa cells dividing like that. That is a mystery. So long time it was mystery. It still is a mystery, parts of it. Part of the puzzle was solved by Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn from University of California, Southern California, same place where the graffiti was written, the same restroom in the library of the same university center, medical center. Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn found out that she was the she solved the part of the puzzle. One of the part of the puzzle is she said that why they keep dividing, why they're not dying. One of the things is telomeres or the usually aging process. They age and die. If the telomere every time cell divides, telomeres get shortened out, keep on getting shortened out. That's a cap on the. I think there's a cell caps that is a telomere. So I'm not. So they get shortened out every time cell divides. They shorten out every time. Is inside chromosomes. I think it's in the chromosome. So they shorten out. So, but in this case of HeLa cells, they're not shortening out. That's what she found out. She solved the part of the puzzle why they're not dying. But not why, how they're not dying, she doesn't know why it happened. She doesn't know the reason is why the caps are exactly same. So they're not shortening out. That is a still puzzle some extent. So it's a big puzzle. So still HeLa cells is so not only they didn't stay on the earth, so they went to the space. That's she 1960s, the United States and Soviet Union, both of them tested on HeLa cells. They went to the space on spaceships. Then they tested for that is let me tell you, radiation, microgravity. They wanted to test on all those things on the cells. What happens? What particular thing they found out? Very
Mm.
strange. They grew faster,
In
and the
space.
gene expression changed. All the genes are changed. Gene expressions are changed. So what we found out is biology behaves differently in space. So if you want to see, so the aliens may not look like us. They may look at entirely different because their biology different from the environment.
Hmm.
So it differs in the environment. So that she paved the way to all the way to Artemis 2 human health mission. Without HeLa cells would not have been there now. It is a really fundamental research we did. Foundational research is done in space on HeLa cells. Thanks to her. So, so what is HeLa and AI? That is a very, it is now the game changer because HeLa cells have a humongous data. HeLa cells collected data sets, unbelievable amount of data sets from 1960, from space, from here, from everywhere. Is a lot of research organizations have a humongous, monumental data. That data, AI loves data, right? So AI has this data, is reading it right now, is learning. It may find people are thinking that it will help us. The massive amount of data, it takes a long time the computers to compute all these things. So they're thinking that it will give this massive amount of data. It can give predict drug candidates. For example, C1, C2, C3, C4. Say it spits out. These are four possible drug candidates. AI machine can spit out. Then you can do biology testing on all the four, and then one of them you can confirm and send to clinical trials. It's a faster drug discovery and precision medicine, and then individualized medicine will be helping us. That HeLa cells paved the way for that. You know, so that is a big thing that science. So that was a humongous that skills going on. HeLa cells and AI is a predicts. AI predicts biology tests, and then we are going to shorten the time of all the vaccines and everything in the future. We may have a cancer vaccines coming up soon, and you and me spoke with Dr. Cataline Carico, and that she was pioneer in this area. So this is the things that is going to change they are game changers. So they science, business, and ethics of HeLa. I tell you about that. They were around 55 million tons of HeLa cells were sold. Around approximate lines were sold. It's like 100 Empire State Buildings. You can fill it up. That much amount of cells are sold. Can you believe that? It is all over the world. HeLa cells are so popular. There is no other cells available. HeLa cells, America exported to every country in the world. 110,000 scientific papers were published through HeLa cells. That's just a staggering 110,000 scientific papers were published directly, indirectly, millions probably, thousands. So she contributed to so the companies who sold these ones made billions of dollars, billions and billions, and they made it. But your family was kept under the dark. They don't know anything about all these things. One day, a researcher from, I think, China, called her family and asking her their gene. They want to ask for her gene. They asked her why. Actually, her name is also Helen Su. She is a Chinese woman, is doing a research in Baltimore in the Johns Hopkins, and she called the family, and it turned into big mess. And then it's not a mess. The family questioned the ethics. Then eventually, the family was still living in poverty. That her daughter was living in poverty. So it was a Rebecca Skloot, his teacher who is studying in Harvard, actually found out about this story, and she wrote a runaway bestseller in the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks. She wrote the book. I want to get her on the podcast the next time. We'll try. Rebecca
That'd be cool.
Skloot. Rebecca
No, that
Skloot.
would be cool to get her. That would be really cool because I don't think at the beginning of the story, and I know you have a bit more to go here, that people
No,
understood the fact
I'm
that
almost done. This last slide, actually.
okay, okay.
So this is the Rebecca Skloot wrote the book, and then wrote the book that's a runaway bestseller. Oprah Winfrey produced a film, a powerful film, this on the same name, Immortal Life of. She acted like her daughter as a warrior. It is a very beautiful movie. If you have time to watch it, watch it. And then it is really cool. Enya Delax, she's a lasting legacy, science and human health. She provided a lasting legacy to human health and science both. And this unsung hero, a poor woman from Virginia, and then came to Baltimore, and then went to space beyond the earth. Think about that, where God must have sent to humanity to save humanity, in my view. So thank you for watching, and let me come back to Susan. Yeah, tell me now, what are you thinking?
Well, no, I was just saying, I'm not sure at the beginning of your presentation that it was evident that her cells were basically swiped. I mean, like they took a sample from her cell, from her tumor, and they grew so insanely fast in the lab that they were like, oh my gosh, check this out. And then they went and they went and they went and they went and they went. And I think the whole point of the story is that, yes, it went all the way to the moon and saved humanity and millions and millions and millions of people. But she
Yeah.
didn't know it. The family didn't know it. So they basically stole her cells.
Stole,
And so,
yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
but
think
we
about
gotta
your mother or grandmother. Somebody made billions of dollars, and then you didn't get anything. You would be pissed off.
well, sure, but what makes her cells so dynamic? I mean, there's no such thing as one of
It still
anything.
is a
I mean, like,
mystery. We don't
is
know.
that still a mystery? I mean, today
Yeah, it is a
don't know
mystery.
why her particular cells are the only ones.
Scientific mystery still. There are other
Wow.
cells came out, but very powerful thing about any other cells, HeLa cells. If you put with other cells eventually die because the HeLa cells are so aggressive. They grow and then take all the nutrients, and then if you put in the petri dish with the HeLa cells and other cells together,
Survival of the
other cells are
fittest.
gone.
Survival of the fittest in a petri dish.
Yeah, so they don't
Crazy.
survive. HeLa cells survive. That's it. Just anything they touch, the HeLa cells grow there. So
Crazy.
it is amazing. I don't know, maybe as he said, that is the alien world or some God sent divine world. So she came to as a divine person for all of us to sell.
That's amazing.
HeLa
Great
cells are
story.
the only one, even now, they are the standard of cell lines for the research labs. They do some synthetic now. They do some synthetic cell lines, and they do some people. There are some people who can live longer a little bit, but eventually not like HeLa cell. They're aggressive. They're doubling. It is just one of the powerful
And
things.
that was over 60 years ago, right? So we
Yeah,
still have HeLa cells in labs all over the world
all
today.
over the world.
This
Yes.
woman's tumor.
Yeah.
60
John Hopkins built a huge building on her name, Henrietta Lacks building. It's a surgery center. They provided building, and they took care of the family and everything.
Yeah,
Everything is good.
yeah,
So
I'm sure.
so that was I get when I see these kind of things, I feel the unsung heroes of medicine. These are all for me. Everybody, they can come from every race, religion, caste, and creed. These are unsung heroes, or really save the lives of the people.
Yeah, my gosh, look at the list of vaccines.
Jonas Salk, for example, I'll give you Jonas Salk. He did not. He was not. He did not keep the patent on this one. He said that I'm going to give it to public. Now the guys that greedy guys we have, they keep that patent and making a lot of money on people.
But I think, just like we were talking earlier about the change in care, back to home, back to family, I think we will see where greed is getting us.
Yeah.
So 1-800, everyone, take a quick look around and look at what greed is leading to when love is at home. Love is where your heart is. Love is what you do for humanity. Love is what you do for yourself, your family, and humanity. It's a giving way of being, not a greedy one.
It reminds my father, Susan. My father was such a giving person in my small village. He took care of all the patients. He was a teacher. He was teaching. He made inspired so many people to become a doctors. That was those are the people, silent heroes. My another person, Ella Pragad Subbarao, I made a show on him. He did a methotrexate cancer drug. Then he did a vitamin C, sorry, the ATP molecular things. He did the testing for the phosphorus test. He did a lot of these things. So these are the silent heroes everywhere in the world. We need to respect, and we need
The
to really not only we need this greed has to stop. This corporate greed is going out of control.
good always wins over evil. Light always wins over dark. And there's a lot of good happening too. And I think that's why we're here.
That's
That's
the
why even
main why. I agree with your positive.
our guest didn't show up tonight, but we came anyway because you know why? We have a duty to be a light in the storm. We will be a port in the storm. We will talk about amazing people doing amazing things. We
You
will
know,
talk about those that are willing to add value no matter to our relationships. Everyone that comes on our show is willing to add value. You
that
are, I am. We will add value till it hurts, and that doesn't cost anything. In fact, being a jerk takes a lot more energy than being good. Being good flows quite easily.
I was watching a physics show yesterday. Okay, physics show. I watch quite a bit of physics things. That's what I am. In that show, they're talking about two things, very interesting things. One is that think about this: how if you go and our bodies, these are collection of molecules, collection of atoms, and they came from the big. If you go back all the way to the source of where they came from, go to the Big Bang, the
Stars.
origin of universe,
Yes.
where Big Bang happened.
Yes. Oh, perfect. He's going to leave me on the Big Bang. Which is, there you go. You're back. You did the Big Bang and you went away. I'm thinking, like, I'm not, be careful hanging out with you.
Yeah. So the then on the top of it, it's kind of mind blowing things. Quantum immortality. Quantum immortality means if you are a god, I'm just hypothetical in physics. I'm talking about in the many worlds of, so every idea, everything you think about is split. So Susan is a blonde in this one. Susan a dark hair in the other universe. There's a multiple many worlds that exist. Everything you think of, all infinite number of things, for anything that is possible that can exist. There's a person exactly like you, 100%. So if you're a god, you can see all of them same time.
Yeah.
So that is a physics show. They're talking about quantum immortality.
Mm.
So it is the if that is physics allows you're already there in other universes if you allow the physics interpretation of it, quantum physics interpretation of
I
it.
think we better be getting careful with like advanced quantum thought right now because it's like midnight here on the East Coast, and we're like, what is he saying? Quantum physics.
Because quantum
We're the
immortality
same as
is
the stars. We're the stars. I mean, honestly, we all know matter's neither created nor destroyed. It only changes shape. If the same atoms that we're made of are the same that are made up of the
so.
stars, and so
The point he was making, I was, um, the point he was making at the end is very interesting. He's saying that if can you tell me how that life happened and we came for being existence? The scientist Brian Greene is actually, he says that he was saying that it is absolutely mind-boggling how we came to existence. So what did that effect means? We are just a cosmic time in a millisecond, a cosmic time. We are nothing, our time. Just we enjoy the time and we go away. So enjoy this moment, present. This is a life, is a blessing given to us. And then, you always talk about that. But that is the enjoy the blessing of this today, because this is a miracle happened right in front of us. That's you. That's
Thank
what
you.
they
And
say.
you, and you're right. I do talk about that a lot because it's all we have is the present, and it's always the present. And I feel blessed for being here with you this evening, for being your friend and your colleague. And I feel blessed to our audience that hang out with us. Even though we didn't have our guest tonight, thank you for your presentation, Romana. It was very cool. I think she's an amazing, amazing human. Who would have ever heard of HeLa cells if you didn't bring it to us tonight? Very interesting and amazing topic. 61 years later, and her cells are still saving humanity. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you all. Good night. Good night. Thank you all. Thank you for joining.
Good night.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it